Good morning. This is a Christmas greeting from my wife, myself, and my family. We wish all those who believe in the birth of Christ a very Merry Christmas, and all those who just wish to celebrate Christmas with your family, have a good time, meet together with your family. We wish you all the best as well. We have no animosity to anybody. They are entitled to their own beliefs, their own ideals. And to those who think it's all right to abuse me on their posts, I just block you because you're a donkey. You have no right to do that to me. I don't do it to you. But now we need to talk about the coming year, because this year has been in turmoil. It's been in turmoil because of politicians, political parties, lying judges, lying magistrates, lying lawyers, and dishonest, deceptive police. The problem we have is the disobedience of our Constitution. Dino Budimore and a few others have attacked our Constitution, the red one, because that's not it. It's only a book. Yes, it is a book. As I've explained, it contains our Constitution, the Commonwealth Constitution Act. From them, no it doesn't. It's just a bit of paper. It means nothing. Well, so is the little one with the bow that you just flaunt around. That is a copy. This, however, is a direct copy of the original. This is the Commonwealth Constitution Act 1900 UK as proclaimed on the 9th of July 1900. Under Clause 7 of this, the old entities known as the Australasian Council and the colonies ceased to exist on the 9th of July. Everything, their laws, their acts, their statutes, the whole lot of their lies. Because Queen Victoria put those 9 clauses in for that exact purpose, to block the lies of the political party backed and negatively backed colonies who try to usurp the authority of the incoming Commonwealth. So you lost. Now, you need to know some things so you know what I'm saying is the truth, so that we can go into the new year with a new outlook on our country under our Constitution, without Scott Morrison pretending to be the head of the government in this country, because he's not. He's just a lying traitor. Every politician are lying traitors. How do we know? Because of what's going on. Now, this is our Constitution. Ours. It says in Clause 7, Clause 8, after passing of this Act, the Colonial Boundaries Act 1895 shall not apply to any colony which becomes a state of the Commonwealth, but the Commonwealth shall be taken to be a self-governing colony for the purposes of that Act. That's this Act. Now, this is a requirement for all the justice of the High Court and of the other courts created by the Parliament shall be appointed by the Governor-General in Council. What does that mean to you? And they must swear the oath contained in this Constitution. Now, have they done it? No. So, they're not judges. So all their decisions are nonsense. Now, let's look at 42 of the Constitution. This needs to be sunk into people's head. I know it's Christmas Day. Every senator and every member of the House of Representatives shall, before taking his seat, make and subscribe before the Governor-General or some person authorised by him an oath or affirmation of allegiance in the form set forth in the schedule to this Constitution. Not the Queen of Australia, not the bush turkey, nobody else. No more lies and no more treason. Now, you need to look at another thing. Section 69. On a date or dates to be proclaimed by the Governor-General after the establishment of the Commonwealth, the following departments of public service in each state shall become transferred to the Commonwealth. Posts, telegraph and telephones, naval and military defence, lighthouses, light ships, beacons and buoys, and quarantine. So, no, the states cannot legislate in relation to quarantine. There are no emergency powers. There is no executive government run by the Parliament. It is run by the governors of the state. They put legislation together. So everything put together by Dan Andrews and Yap Yap McGowan and Chokachuk from Queensland, you people are blatant traitors. You can't have quarantine. You can't interfere with posts, telegraphs and telephones. So all your laws that you've purported laws, which are only state acts and lies, because they are lies, are in direct conflict with the Constitution. Because if you want to access our phones, you need a law passed, a lawful law passed by the federal parliament after it is put together by the Governor-General. Nothing to do with states. Your telephones are nothing to do with it. So when you police take people's phones to unload them, you're stealing that phone. You're taking away that time that they're paying for. You're stealing it. It's not yours. You have no authority over it. No parliament can give you authority over it. They need our permission. They don't have it. You see, all these things belong to us. Naval and military defence. Well, see, therein comes another big problem, because little Scott Morrison, he's such a liar and a fraud. He comes out and says he's authorised and signed an agreement for foreign military to operate in this country and not be responsible for any of their actions. Sorry, Scott, if they come into this country, the people in this country can take what little firearms they've got left and shoot them. Shoot them dead, smack between the eyes. You know why? Because you have no authority over the military. None whatsoever. The Command-in-Chief of the Naval and Military Forces of the Commonwealth is vested in the Governor-General as the Queen's representative. It's not vested in a lying, filthy traitor who's the manager of the Australian government, a registered company in America. That's you, ScoMo. And any member of the military force that takes orders from you becomes a traitor automatically. They become a lot more than that. They become liable to spend the rest of their lives in jail because you've overturned the provisions of our Constitution. The states have overturned it when they take up and say, we can quarantine. You've overturned it when you decide that you can close borders that don't exist. They are an imaginary line. Yap Yap McGowan, you're an idiot. You're a traitor to this country. You're an enemy of the state of Western Australia. You say Clive Palmer is. I'm not going to judge Clive Palmer because I don't know how he or what he's doing, but I do know what you're doing. You're trying to separate Western Australia from the rest of Australia and make it a socialist dictatorship under an idiot like you. A total fool. A numbnut. A total nitwit. That's Australian expression for someone who lacks anything between the ears. That's you. You have done everything you can in the last year to overturn our Constitution. And ScoMo, you did not speak on behalf of the seven states and territories, because there's only 6 states. 6, not 7. You can't create another state or a territory without first going to the people. When you want to chop off part of a state, it requires a referendum in that state. 123 of our Constitution says so. When that was done, you overturn that section of the Constitution. Then, when you fail to comply with 128, again you overturn 128 of our Constitution. That's life imprisonment. Then, the Australia Act from Bob Dawke and the other idiots. You people think we're going to let you get away with it. No. That's treason. The Australia Act is treason. I don't care if the High Court rules for it or against it. They are committing treason. They are overturning the Constitution. It all hinges on one single little issue. Section 128. When did you ask the people? You didn't. You went to England and lied to the people in England, to the government, and said, you're here with the approval of the people. No, you're not. No, you're not. You're here committing treason, fraud, and treachery to overturn our Constitution, imprisonment for life. And as for the coronavirus, it's the flu. COVID-19 is a flu with a protein, apparently. No one's ever singled it out. But suddenly, ScoMo, that virus has turned to a disease, according to the newspapers and the TV. But, you know, that's all fake news. But anyway, just saying they aren't. Why then would you swab someone's nose for a virus when they have a disease? My working out on that would be do a blood test. But then you can't take blood from somebody without their permission. All this nonsense about we're going to force or we're going to coerce people to take a vaccine. No, you're not. I'll tell you now, no, you're not. Because what you don't understand, when push comes to shove, every Australian will stand up and they'll shove your head up your butts where they belong. You have no authority to do that. You created it. You created a referendum in relation to conscription, and that is section 51, subsection 23A. And it was added to your Constitution, added to ours by referendum, lawfully. I know you idiots keep continually saying if a referendum doesn't get the vote you want, which is yes, it doesn't count. Yes, it does. Stop lying to people. I know the Sudis and the Praters and the idiots like to say, you don't know what you're talking about, the courts of superior courts have ruled. No, the superior courts have ruled nothing. Decisions of the Supreme Courts of states don't form part of the common law. You can say they do, you're a liar. The High Court ruled they don't. Lipaha versus the Queen, 1999. Go read it. They don't. Only decisions of the High Court, if they're made in accordance with, look at that, our Constitution, the People's Constitution. See, this is a Supreme Court law of this country. When you go into a court and the magistrate refuses to allow you to bring this up, that magistrate should be arrested by the police or the security or both and locked up for treason. Because without this, he's sitting unlawfully. He's sitting in treason. He's sitting in contempt of the High Court. He's sitting in contempt of the state and the courts. Not the corporate state set under the Acts Amendment, Repeals Court and Legal Practice Act. The state created under 107, 108 and 109 of the Constitution. Your little quip, the nonsense written by Sudi. I read Glue versus the Granite Shire. That's not the transcript. It is in some essence, but you've changed little bits to make it look nice for the government. But the government, nice little people, sent me copies of every one of my transcripts. I have the lot. As I said to you before, you donkeys, want to argue, come on my post and argue, and I'll show you where you're wrong, because you are wrong. Our Constitution binds everything, including the politicians. They don't have the right to change state constitutions. Wheeler lied. Wheeler, Pullen and Bus all lied. It isn't like the Dog Act. Can't be changed. The state constitutions are letters patent. Only the monarch can touch those. The Privy Council didn't refer to that. They referred to other acts. So if they did say it, or some idiot there did say that, he was lying too. He was lying. When you don't tell the truth, you're lying. Like you, Sudi and Prater, you're liars. You attack my wife and my beliefs now. in an attempt to denigrate us. Which one of you was it ran away from that woman at one of the demonstrations when she confronted you with your lies? You were such a little girl, you packed up your dress and took off like a little sookie book and hid away from them because you couldn't take the truth. As I said to you, come pay me a visit or shut your mouth. What I want to do is wish you all a very Merry Christmas, including you, Sudi and Prater. You're going to come down to a screaming heap in the next year. You are not going to get the Great Reset where you become a world governing body. You voted for it. That is blatant treason. That is an act to overturn our Constitution and hand us over to the United Nations. We're not a member. We never voted on it under 128. You can't do that, you lying, filthy traitor. So, ScoMo, I look at the picture of you, your wife, and your two girls, and I think, look what you're doing to your girls. Look what you're doing to your wife. Bringing total disgrace on all three of them. Because you are nothing but a lying, thieving traitor who has committed treachery on the Australian people to overturn our Constitution. Now, to every political party politician, you know, including our local ones, I gave you a Constitution and told you to read the first 3 chapters. If you read that and still stay in a political party, then you're guilty of all the crimes they've committed. You know what I mean. You know who I'm talking to. Time to wake up. You say you're a Christian? Then act like one. Stop committing criminal offences. Stop sinking this country. Stop handing it over to a one-world system of government, and you're doing it. Yes, Rob Dines, I'm talking about you. You're a nice bloke. Wake up to the fact that you're wrong. The Constitution says so. It's the supreme law. All laws passed pursuant to state constitutions and passed by state parliaments are subject to the supreme law. No local government in here can't be in state constitutions. It is put in there in 1979, an act of treason, fraud and treachery to overturn this Constitution. Stop lying, tell the truth, get rid of the crap out of our society, and get rid of the political parties, because you are nothing but a bunch of lying, thieving traitors. Every single one of yous are going to jail for the rest of your life. You understand that? It's coming. And guess what? The common law of this country says so, and it cannot be changed by any parliament. They are subject to it. And only the Governor-General at federal level with an executive he selects. Not a national cabinet. None of you lunatics. None of you can pass laws. None of you can put them together. Only the Governor-General in Council can put them together. Then it's given to you to pass them according to this. And in relation to states, it's the governors of the states and the Executive Council they select. And they only can put together laws subject to this. Subject to this. If you can't work out what that means, you're lying, filthy traitors. You're not that brain dead. Wake up. And anybody who pushes political parties and their agenda are guilty of the same offences under the Commonwealth Criminal Code. Go read it. You know it's an indictable offence to commit treason, to overturn our Constitution. You do it or attempt to do it in any way, even by forming a referendum. That's treason. You don't understand that? Come see me. I'll show you where it says it. And referendums are taken state by state so as not to offend the laws of any state. So the decision says no. No to the continuance of local government. You can't have it. No to the establishment. You can't have it. Wake up. Our Constitution is the supreme law. Your laws, your acts, your statutes are nothing but bull dust. A big, huge pile of moo poo. Wake up. Everybody else have a wonderful Christmas day. I'm going to have a wonderful Christmas day knowing that I've told the traitors exactly what's coming for them. Jail for the rest of your lives. That is a penalty for what you're doing. Imprisonment for life. Bear that in mind when you talk to your family saying, what's he talking about? Tell the truth. Say, Daddy or Mummy are going to jail because they're committing treason. And that's for the rest of their lives. You won't see them anymore. Try doing that and see what they have to say about it. Time to wake up, people. We are the Commonwealth. They are our servants. Paid servants. Have a nice Christmas, and I wish you all a nice New Year, a very prosperous New Year, except the traders. I wish you a nice time in a polished floor cell for life. Bye.